The first, prioritize consistency, is best embodied by this girl. Towards the end of South America, I contracted a bacterial infection. The effects were gradual, but eventually it forced me to head to my cousin's home in London, where I spent a month in and out of infectious disease. And when they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, I flew home. And the infection worsened to the point that I was in agony all the time. And I had lost 45 pounds from a body that has never had 45 pounds to lose. That's not even the worst of it. That's just the worst photo I have. I was probably a few months from dying. But thankfully, as you can see, I survived. Oh, yeah. To my survival. Thank you. Thankfully, I survived. And once an antibiotic started to work, I picked up my walk in Europe, where I had left off. But even though my body was back to decent health, my mind was not. After months of being in agony every minute of every day, all my thoughts had this dark sort of bend to them. My normal optimism was turned to pessimism. One of the fantastic things about walking is that you have nowhere to hide from yourself. All your thoughts and emotions are constantly right in front of you. And normally this is beautiful and reflective and insightful. But in my darkened state, pushing through German snow, Belgian and French rain, walking was torture. Each morning I would wake up and wonder how I could possibly get through another day. And when even the smallest difficulty arose, I would crumble emotionally. But somewhere on the west coast of France, I had this thought while looking down at Savannah. I thought, I have no idea how she's feeling. I'm sure she has stomach aches and muscle pains. I'm sure there are days she wants nothing more than to just lay in bed. And yet each day, regardless of how she's feeling, she walks every mile with her tail held high. So during those difficult months, I strived to become more like Savannah. Put in a good day's work, be content, set the day aside. Savannah showed me the power of consistency, and especially the power of consistency through adversity. When it's dark and difficult and you're questioning even your core values, consistent action is the way out. Towards the end of our journey, Savannah and I walked Wyoming in November. I do not recommend it. Not fun. I thought after years of walking abroad, after walking down the Americas and down the quiet bike paths of Europe and across North Africa and up Italy and along the Mediterranean and across Turkey and Georgia, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, I thought I'd walk across my home country where I know the culture, where I speak the language, be a piece of cake. No. The US is massive, and Wyoming is a beast. More people live in Alaska than live in Wyoming. I went nearly a week there without access to food or water. I was isolated, the days were short, I pushed over hills, down gorges of rough terrain, and all while the wind blew at 50 miles an hour, and it was about 15 degrees outside. But you know what? After 6.5 years of walking, I didn't care. Not to say that I wasn't frustrated at times and that I didn't beg every minute of every day for a break in the wind, but more to say, I knew this state wasn't permanent. I had already walked through the jungle. I had crossed 100 mountains. I had passed through the desert. And so I knew with enough steps, I would get to the other side of this too. And I was right, it was difficult, but I made it. And so will you, as long as you trust your map and keep pushing forward, even if it's just that one step at a time. When setbacks occur, it's the people with the ability to persevere that succeed, that outlast, and that most importantly, become smarter, stronger, and even more resilient. It's another feedback loop. The more resilient you are, the more resilient you become. Resiliency is a muscle strengthened through consistency.